And now we're recording, and I'm going to record again over here. And so, thank you everyone for coming. We're really excited to be working with you on the TACHE conference. Um, we had a great session yesterday with lots of questions that people had for. I think we've got facilitators, we've got speakers, we've got folks that are doing poster presentations, and so I think we have some folks from TACHE on the call. And I'm looking to see. And by the way, I'm Carlo. I'm helping produce the event along with my very skilled and talented business partner, Mr. Bill Alexi, right there. Bill is the talent, and my job is just to keep the talent happy. That's all.
Carlos
That's
just
all.
looks.
That's all we do.
It's
That's
the
all
gray
we do
hair.
here. But we're really looking forward to this. Our role here is just to sort of help you be comfortable with the technology. Today's goal is to go through just a quick run through of some specific things and key things that you'll want to be ready for as we start tomorrow. And I believe we have Maria on the call. So Maria or any other folks from TACHE who would like to jump in, feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Carlo. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and for making time to join this session. Super important. This is where, we're able to really, get into the nitty-gritty, into the details of your experience. My goal by the time this hour is up is for you to feel ready and comfortable to come to the conference and present or facilitate to the fullest. So anything that we can do to answer your questions or resolve your doubts, this is the time to do it. But before we get to questions and maybe trying the breakout rooms, I do want to go through a couple of items that I just want to talk through. If you can just hold your questions until I finish, you're certainly able to type that in the chat or unmute yourself when that time comes. So my name is Maria Honey. I'm from the University of Houston, and I'm one of the co-chairs of the programming team. You have probably received a ton of emails from me and my co-chairs. Thank you so much for taking the time to give those emails attention, because they provide you with all the information that you will need to just have an excellent experience. Wait, Mommy, wait, I'm in a meeting. Okay. Sorry, my kids. So the first thing that I just want to acknowledge, I'm not sure if they're on the line or on the call, is I have two amazing co-chairs, and I don't see them on here, but if you have a chance to kind of meet them, Dr. Ana Martinez and Dr. Elsa Diego Medrano have been part of the programming team, and they have been a wonderful. Oh, there's Ana. Say hello, Ana.
Hi. How are you? Happy to be. I'm so proud of Maria.
Thank you.
To be part of this committee. So yes, I'm here. If you have questions, I will try to answer them too.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. So one of the most important things that we will cover today is how to prepare your computer or laptop for tomorrow. The key to this is for you to be fully registered through the Zoom portal. So if you're registered with the conference, if you've already registered with the conference on the TACHE website, you will then get an email from the VP of membership that will give you the link to the official conference Zoom, I guess, access point or whatever, but that will generate a conference Zoom link. Okay, so it's like two registrations. You register with us first, you pay your registration fee, and then you'll get an email that will give you the link to register to the actual Zoom conference link. Okay, so make sure you've done that. If you have not received that, please circle back with me afterwards so we can make sure we get that taken care of. Also, I want you to let you know that, this conference is, because it's virtual, you can come and go as you please, right? You may not be able to stay for the whole conference. You might only be registered for the one day that you are going to be presenting or facilitating. We really recommend that you try to get onto the Zoom, the conference Zoom, at least 15 minutes before, so you can kind of get yourself acclimated and you're ready to enter your breakout session as soon as it opens. Okay, so make sure that you do that. If you can join even more than 15 minutes ahead of time, that would be even better. Make sure that your audio and your video is working. So one of the things that I've learned is sometimes people are working off of desktops that don't have like a camera. And so they think that they have camera and it's not working. Make sure you're on a device that actually has a camera and that has a mic as well, right? Most laptops have that, but just double check. You know, I've made that mistake before when I'm in my office and I think I can connect via video and I can't. Also, in the emails that we've sent you, there was like a flyer or a graphic that gave you 5 helpful tips to ensure that your equipment is working. So that covers audio, video. You also got a link to a 45-second little clip that shows you how to update your Zoom. You have to have the most up-to-date Zoom version in order to really maximize like all the features that we're going to be using at the conference. So make sure you take a look at that I sent you. We also have provided to you a facilitator or a presenter virtual background. Like if you can see mine's because I'm in the planning committee. So make sure to use that so we can identify you as someone important to the conference. And so that should be in the Google Drives that we have created for you. All right. The last thing that pertains to both presenters and facilitators is that we are recommending that you rename yourself before you enter the conference. So for example, I renamed myself as ** facilitator followed by my name, okay? If you're a presenter, you would use ** presenter followed by your name. And if you're a facilitator, you will kind of use what I'm modeling now, okay? This will really help Carlo and Bill and others who are helping kind of execute the conference to identify you quickly because it bumps you to the very top of the list. So while you will have the flexibility to enter, choose your breakout session and enter, we want to get you in as quickly as possible, right? We want to prioritize you so you can go into your breakout room and get yourself all set up, okay? So don't forget that. All right, the next couple of points are just for presenters and co-presenters. Make sure that you review the conference schedule, okay? It's like 16 pages long, so make sure you know when you're gonna be presenting and put that on your calendar. And we actually have people from out of our time zone. So if you are living outside of our time zone, make sure that, that you adjust that for Central Time. So all of the times are Central Time. So if you're in Florida, we have some people, I forget where the other presenter I spoke to today is at, maybe Chicago. Make sure that you know what time zone you're in. And if you have co-presenters, make sure they're on board as well. Let's see. If you have not already sent us your presentation slides, go ahead and get that done today. We're going to be collecting that through the end of the day. I want to make sure I have time to kind of receive them and document them and get them to the facilitators in time. And know that those presentations are only going to be used as a backup. They will not prevent you from sharing your own slides, pulling them up on your computer and sharing your own slides. This is just in the event something happens, or perhaps, your co-presenter who's in charge of advancing the slides doesn't show up. We can still do the presentation. And it's kind of, I described it yesterday as like breakout session insurance, right? We want to make sure that we can support you. And so that is just, again, just as a backup copy. Every breakout session will have a facilitator assigned to it. Yesterday, you should have received an email from me identifying your facilitator. So feel free to reach out to them if you have any special needs or if you're nervous about something. And I'm here also to assist you. So if you have any doubts between now and tomorrow, please don't hesitate to email me and we can get those addressed. This is your session. So, be ready to, look at the chat to field any questions that you receive, as well as maybe just inviting your participants to unmute themselves when you're ready, okay? So however you want to, manage that session, it's your time. And if you have any specific needs, make sure you just reach out to your facilitator for those. At the beginning, when you submitted your proposal, we did ask if we could record your session, okay? If you have given us permission to record, our facilitator will be recording that session. I think the participants do get a little notification saying, this session may be recorded. So if someone has like an issue with being present somewhere, they can always exit. But there's no need to like get a consensus of participants for the recording. It's just going to happen. And if you did not grant us that permission, or if you were on the fence and you haven't told us otherwise, we will not be recording your session. We will honor that request. Okay, so that is it for the kind of like the main points for the presenters. But I did want to share, can y'all see this? It's kind of like a Google Drive, and it says folder for TACHE presenters, okay? You already have this link and you should already have access to this. On here are the PowerPoint templates, the presenter directory. It was updated this morning. But if you haven't had a chance to look at that and you want to look at your picture, your name and your bio, please, if there's something that's wrong, please send that to us. We want to make sure that we get everything right, and we're willing to work to the last minute to get that corrected. We have the presenter virtual background in here. And then we also have the conference schedule. And then here's those 5 tips for viewing a virtual event final optimized. It's a PDF. Go check it out. It's easy to use. It won't take you but a second to get those kind of like technology issues addressed. All right, very good. I'm going to move on to facilitators, and then we'll either open it up for questions, or we can move into kind of the breakout session kind of demonstration. So facilitators, you should have all the information that you need in an email. We have those facilitator packets. Please take a moment to take a look, to read over that. If something doesn't make sense, reach out to Anna or myself, and we'll be happy to go over that with you. Make sure when you're going to be facilitating, put that on your calendar, all Central Time. It's important that you are in the room as early as possible to identify your presenters and make sure that they're able to, share their screen, and you can welcome the attendees as early as possible. In the Google Drive, which I will share here in a second, you also will have access to all the PowerPoint slides that have been submitted. If you do not have a PowerPoint slide in that Google Drive, it's because one was not submitted. And that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not your responsibility to have access to that if it wasn't submitted. It's just a courtesy. So don't despair or get worried that we have to get that. I'm working directly with the presenters right now to try to get as many as I can before tomorrow. Also on your facilitator packet, you will see very clearly when you see your session that you're facilitating, you will have the title, the presenters, a biography, and also very clearly it's identified as permission to record has been granted or not granted. Okay, if it says TBD at this point, is that I'm still trying to kind of figure out if they want to or not, but I'll get those all up to date in advance of tomorrow. And we're also asking you to document which of the presenters showed up, like actually came, because we want to send them a little thank you after the session. So make sure you put a Y if they showed up, or no, they didn't show up. You know, sometimes plans change and they're not able to participate, and that's okay. When you record, once you record it, it does its thing. But then at the end of the session, when you stop it, it's very important for you to save it onto your computer. Okay, go ahead and save that onto your computer, or you can select what drive you want it on your computer. At the end of the conference, you'll be able to upload those into the Google Drive. I'll show that to you here in a second. And if you have any technical issues, we are, after this session, we identified a group of people from the planning committee who will be there to support you if something happens. But I don't know, a lot of preparation has gone into this conference, and I believe that whatever technical issues we have, we're really minimizing them by just attending this Zoom session right now. Let me share real quick the facilitator Google Drive. Okay, so this is the facilitator Google Drive. It says files for facilitators. In here are your packets, okay? The original ones. If you're a facilitator, you should have a name here. You should just look for your name, okay? When you're done with them and you have filled them all out, at the, when your responsibilities are done, you will put them here where it says Facilitator Packets completed, okay? This will tell me that, you finished your packet filling it out. And let's see, we have the session PowerPoints. You see the ones that are in red? The files that are in red is because we already have a PowerPoint submitted, okay? The ones that are in gray, I'm still working on those. Again, if you don't see one, don't despair. It's a courtesy that we're offering the presenters, and if they send one in, we'll usually be glad to have it if to help them out if the need arises. Session recorded files. This is where you're going to upload the actual Zoom recordings, right? So you just have to find the breakout session. C2. If you're a C2 facilitator, this is where you're going to drop that Zoom recording. The TACHE schedule is also on there, and your virtual background is also in there. And I think that's it. Those are kind of like the major points that I wanted to share with both you guys, with both sets of folks, presenters and facilitators. And Carlo or Bill, did you want to add anything that I might have missed, or maybe that you wanted to add to?
Go ahead, Bill. Do you have
I was just gonna say, yeah, do you want to share the breakout room experience, Carlo?
Yeah, for sure. So what we'll do, we have a number of different breakout rooms that are set up. And so we're going to do a real live dress rehearsal with you, using one of the breakouts, the breakout C, which is the first day from 3:30 to 4:20 as an example. And so it's important, we're going to give everyone the ability to choose their own breakout room, but this means that you need to have a fairly updated version of Zoom. I put a link in the chat toward the top if you scroll up, if you'd like to learn how to make sure your Zoom is updated for laptops or desktop computers. Feel free to check that. And so you can see the slide Bill is sharing. This is the slide that we will show right before we open up breakout rooms for people to choose. So it clearly tells you the name of the breakout, the title and the topic, and then who is in there. So if you see your name on here, you know that when we open up breakout rooms, like I'm going to do right now, and this should give you the opportunity to see which breakout room. Sometimes there's a notice at the bottom, you have to click on the breakout room button. Other times it'll pop right up. But you can see, and now you can make sure you join your breakout session, or if you're not in charge of a breakout session at this time, you can join whatever one you'd like. So what I think would be a good exercise, go ahead and join one of the 5 rooms and then go in and make sure that you're comfortable sharing screen and any technology that you might need. Let's take maybe 3 minutes. We're going to see who's really on the call or not. So take your time. If you can't get into a breakout room, just raise your hand or come off mute and let us know, and that way we can troubleshoot that. If you're on a phone or sometimes a tablet, it may be hard to choose which one you want to go to. Or if you have an old version of Zoom, it may not let you choose. We'll have to manually put you in, but we'd rather figure that out now than on game day. So let us know if you're not able to choose one of the breakout rooms that should be open. Let us know. Yvonne, oh, Yvonne, great Zoom etiquette. Yvonne raised her hand. So Yvonne, feel free.
I'm not able to get into a breakout room.
Okay, are you on a desktop or a laptop?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, so there's no button that popped up under breakout rooms, maybe next to your share screen button.
Once I click breakout rooms,
Mhm.
I saw C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it's blank. Like I can no longer see anything.
That whole little box is blank.
It's all blank.
No breakout rooms for you.
Can you share your screen, Yvonne, so we can look at it and see exactly what it's doing?
What if
Sure.
we just close the breakout rooms and relaunch it, Carlo? That might be the first.
If we close, well, yeah,
Yvonne does.
if she
Yvonne
closes
closes
that,
it.
you could
One
close
does
that
it.
box and maybe open it up again. That's a good idea.
I've done that twice.
Okay. Can you show us what you're seeing? And
This is what I'm seeing. I'm sharing my screen.
Okay. Oh,
It's hiding
okay.
the Zoom interface. Yeah.
Bill, what do you think? So if you open your Zoom so we can see your Zoom, what is it?
I can share that with you.
And I see Renee. Okay, Renee, I'm going to put you manually in one of the rooms, and then when we come back out, I'm going to put you in to test your technology, and then when you come back out, we can troubleshoot that. And I see Ada Perez. Yes, we'll use the same link. Will be used for participants as well as facilitators. It'll all be the same link to bring you into that meeting.
And we'll answer that question again because Iria Perez, she's in a room right now.
Oh, okay.
So when they come back, I think it's a good thing for everybody to know.
Sure. Gabriel. Okay, so I see Gabriel and Barbosa cannot get in. Are you all on laptops or desktops? If you are, just go ahead and come off mute and we can talk about it.
Laptop, sir.
Okay, so Gabriel, what are you seeing when you open up? Do you not see anything that shows to be able to join or like a little breakout room button?
I just see participants chat, share screen, record, and reactions.
Okay. Do you know, are you using an updated version of Zoom? Do you know?
I believe I am, yes.
When's the last time you updated? Do you remember off chance?
Some months ago?
Okay, you probably need a newer version.
Okay.
So I would, if you haven't updated in the last 2 weeks, I would recommend everyone, if you go up to, let me see if I can copy, sometimes it's, yes, so I would recommend everybody when we're done, go to this link and it'll just give you, it's me giving a 45-second, version of how to update your breakout room. So let me send, let's send Renee, Gabriel, and I'm going to send you guys into a breakout room to test that technology, and then you can come right back.
For Yvonne?
Yes. Thank you. Okay. And I see Elsa, Gabe, and Miguel. Are you all able to, did you come back from a breakout room or are you able to get in?
Oh, this is Miguel. I'm not able to get in.
Okay. I'm going to put you in a breakout room, Miguel, so you can test.
I see Eliana did not join the breakout room.
Yeah.
Signed.
I think, okay. Eliana, are you there? If you're there, come off mute, let us know. It looks like we're trying to put you in a breakout room. It may just be a slow connection.
Yes, I tried the breakout room and it worked just fine.
It did work. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. Who else? Gabe? Gabe, were you able to go into a breakout room? And Gabe, if you're talking, I think you're muted. We just wanted to make sure you got in to your breakout room and you were able to test. Okay. Ana, Dr. Martinez was able. Good. All right. So this is our fear too, is that you know, when we open up breakout rooms, I think we have 148 people sign. I just checked the registration numbers. Those are just people that have logged in through us, Bill. So there may be more that haven't signed up through Zoom. So say there's a couple hundred, we'll have to just be, um, we'll have to design a process to get people in quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get a couple TACHE volunteers to help. Okay, anybody for breakout room 1 that you see, put them in. I'll be number 2, somebody 3, 4, and 5, and we can get people in quickly.
Yeah, it gets kind of difficult because as you see in the participants list and in the breakout room list, people's names come and go and resort.
Right.
So I think like we did that one time where everyone in room C1, please raise your hand, and we deposit that group and then do each cohort individually.
Are,
I have a question. Oops.
are we all back?
I will, not quite, but I'll close.
Because Dr. Maggie de la Teja actually chose to come back to the main room, and it kicked her into our little room. And then she didn't have a leave the breakout room tab. So just thought I'd mention that.
Okay. I'm closing the breakout room so everybody will come back. And yes, Tosi?
Yes. When we're in the breakout rooms, will we have host access to be able to record and mute people and that kind of thing?
So yes, what we'll do is the goal is to make, so we're mixed on this and we haven't gotten a clear yes or no from TACHE. We can make you a co-host to be able to mute and unmute. The problem is if we make so many people co-hosts, we run the risk of somebody accidentally closing the breakout rooms, because when you're a co-host, that thing pops up and there's a very tantalizing red button that is so easy to click accidentally, and then it closes it for everyone. So we would rather you will be able to record, because whatever you're recording follows you around, but you may not be able to mute and unmute.
I was testing out the record button and it wouldn't work because it said that I was not, that only the host could do that. So it'll be changed once we get into our, okay.
We'll make sure. Yeah, we'll make sure that everybody's able to record.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. What other questions, folks?
I would like
for
to
the mute and unmute facilitators, if you see that someone is doesn't know that they're unmuted and it's causing a ruckus, feel free to kindly just pause, identify who that may be to see if we can, because it can be very distracting for the presenters and certainly not a good thing for the attendees. So don't be afraid to kind of jump in and assist in that manner.
Yeah, and to that point too, if you ask for help, one of us can jump in and help clean up the situation if we need to boot somebody from the room if they're being rude, or just help them if they're having some technical difficulties.
Good. What other questions or challenges? As you saw, I'd encourage everyone to click on that link or to update your Zoom. That would solve a lot of problems. Another thing you may want to do is we encourage everybody to restart your computer before you log into the conference, because that will just clean everything out. It typically solves problems with speakers or microphones or video, and just make sure your computer's running quickly. Yeah, yes, Ada.
So I think what I'm going to do as a presenter is going to go ahead and insert a housekeeping slide asking everyone to stay muted while someone is talking, and then definitely unmute when it's the engagement part of my presentation. I think everybody needs a little reminder every now and then.
Great idea. Yeah, great idea at the beginning. And so remember, since people are choosing their own room, some people it's like being at McDonald's, right? You're in front of the indecisive person who doesn't know what they want. So it may take a while for all the people from this room to go into your room. And the second part of that is, as you saw, people that don't have an updated version, Bill and I will have to put them in manually. So I would budget for the first 2 minutes or so of your room being open that there will be people just kind of trickling in for a couple minutes. So you might have, we always
Same awkward
recommend,
moment, right? Like if you have any
we're all just
workshop where you're
looking.
at the on the podium and you're waiting for people and you're like, hi, how are you? And you're kind of pretending to work through your paperwork and look at your computer and greet people. It'll be a lot like that.
So for facilitators, it's good. You can be one of the first ones to jump right into your room and welcome everybody. Hey, welcome, welcome Maria, welcome Magdalena, welcome Yolanda, welcome Luis. Great to see you. Where are you from? Like you can have kind of that banter, and then at a certain point, maybe after a couple minutes or so, you can just kind of ease into the presentation. It makes it a little less awkward, a little more natural.
Yeah.
But great idea, Ada, on the first thing. Hey guys, everybody, we're all going to stay muted unless you're talking. And I would encourage people to use the raise hand feature on the reactions button, wherever that is. You can do that, and it puts you toward the front of the list, and that just prevents people from unmuting and trying to jump in. And so that's a very controlled way of getting feedback or doing Q&A.
I had a technical question, Carlo. We received a unique link to be able to attend the TACHE conference. So obviously, many of us are going to be in and out because of our schedules. So do we have to do that link every time that we go to a session? So if say I'm in a session from 12 to 1, but I don't come back till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so do I have to always have that link to get back in?
You will. Yeah, you have a couple options if you'd like. If you don't need your computer for that hour or so, you can just stop video and turn on mute. But if you have to log out, I would keep that link closed. And what I'll do is when we finish with this session, for everyone that's registered, we'll send everybody your link one more time so it's at the top of your email. We'll do that again tomorrow morning. We'll do it Thursday morning. We'll do it Friday morning. So you don't have to go digging for it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Sure. And I see in the chat, okay, Jamila, trouble registering for the conference. Jamila, is that for, okay, perfect, Maria's got it. Yeah, you're going to register with TACHE, and that's when you actually make your payment if you're paying for the session, and then you'll register on Zoom, and that's just to get your link. So you kind of have to register twice, as Maria said at the beginning. This is good. What other questions? Concerns?
This one might be for Maria. And in regards to the facilitator, how long does the facilitator have to introduce us from, just in general, an average amount of time that we need to provide to the facilitator?
It depends on the number of presenters and also how long their biographies were. So I'll let the presenters know, some of them were quite lengthy, so we had to compress it, especially if you had like 4 presenters. So we did have to just kind of, make them 3 sentences at most. So if it doesn't sound like your biography because it's really short, don't be worried. It's more for timing purposes. Of course, all of that is the biographies will be displayed in its fullness in the presenter directory. Okay, so if someone wants to reach out to you or learn more about you, it will be in that presenter directory. But I would say you have maybe 4, is it 4 of y'all, right? Okay, so I would say will probably be 2 to 3 minutes if they go one after the other. And so, but yeah, the facilitators don't know this, but we did do some editing because there's the biographies are great, but I didn't want it to also take away from the time that you have to present.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Was everyone able to navigate their PowerPoint okay? A couple things that you cannot do in breakout rooms if you're planning on it, which I don't know if many of you were, but you cannot do polling in a breakout room. Zoom just won't allow it yet, and you cannot spotlight in a breakout room or multi-spotlight in a breakout room. But everything else you can. Obviously, sharing screen doesn't change.
And Carla, were we able to get Yvonne into a breakout room manually, or were we able to address
I think we moved Yvonne. Did you move Yvonne, Carl? Yvonne came back and said that everything worked well for her in the room, but I'm not
Yeah, I
too
was able to
sure.
log. I was able to move back in by myself.
Okay, what'd you
Okay.
do to fix that, Yvonne?
I got out of the Zoom entirely and went back in.
Yeah, that's the old jiggle the handle technique.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Yvonne, we're going to address your other more specific needs after this session.
And I see
Thank
Diana,
you.
Dr. Pino. Yes. So once you're in a breakout room, you can't break out again from that room. You're all trapped together in that room, so to speak. And then Robert Ortiz was talking about specifying a day. So
I just sent him the information.
perfect. Thank you, Elsa.
I guess technically someone could come back to the main room and ask to be put into a different room.
Yeah, Bill and I will be in the main session the whole time while you are all at your breakout rooms, because someone's likely to get disconnected or somebody needs to restart their computer and they'll come back, and if nobody's here, then we're here to kind of direct traffic, and we can manually put people in to rooms. But I would suggest as soon as we open, as soon as you see this, as soon as you see well, I don't want to push you back in the room. As soon as you see breakout rooms are available, jump right into your session, and that way you can get things set up and greet people. And then there should be a little button at the bottom that says ask for help, and that will call one of us. But we're here to help in whatever way we can. Yes, Ada.
So I know that you asked us to rename ourselves asterisk presenter and then our name, but would you like us to return to our regular name after we present it? Do you just want us to have that while we present? I mean, I don't want to be identified as a presenter if I go to Maggie's session.
That's a great idea. Yes, if you can just be, I know we're asking maybe from some super specifics, but since you offered, if you can name yourself as a presenter or facilitator during, like, essentially right before your session, and then when you're done with your session, you can take that off. That would be very helpful. Thank you. Great idea.
A couple good questions in chat.
Oh, can I answer that question, Dr. Guajardo? I see that you're asking about how many participants would be per session. We have about 200 people registered. So, and we have 4 breakout sessions, so it'll be broken up between that, but then we don't know how many people are presenting on day 1, day 2, or how many people will be attending one day versus the other day. So I would just kind of divide that between maybe 20 to 25, but 20 would be a good number.
Thank you, that helps. Just trying to figure out the type of engagement we want to do with the time we have. Appreciate it.
I also wanted to mention that this is the first year we're doing student presentations. There's 2 breakout sessions during the conference that will have many student presentations, students that are introducing their research interest or a full semester project. We really put a lot of effort in trying to attract students because they're our future. And I just, I wanted you two guys, if you're not one of the students, to please attend those sessions and give the students their love and support, welcome them, and provide feedback, because that is so valuable, and approach it with love and care, because we hope to be able to grow student presentations in the future.
Thank you, Maria. I wanted to ask, I know that you're asking presenters to get to our session early. Is anyone else other than the presenters able to get there early? In other words, will we have some time alone as presenters?
That's a really good question. And the answer is no, but Carlo, I'm wondering, is it possible to create a I don't know, like a room that's called the hallway or something like that, or the
Yeah, we can create a green room.
Like a green,
Yeah,
yeah.
the only thing is we can put them in the green room, but then we'd have to bring them back to the main session and then put them in their session. So they can't like get into their room early and set their room up, if that makes sense. But if they want a
Yeah.
private room, they can. But I think you probably want to like get in and get things set up. And unfortunately, we can't just if we open a breakout room for just a couple people, then we have to close it and then open it up for everybody.
No, okay, so the short answer is no, that when we get there, we just need to make sure that we organize and check to see if anybody's there. And we can tell that because of the participants, the number of participants that are shown. The other question is whether we have any time after our session officially ends, whether we have to leave immediately or whether there's some time if people wanted to hang out and talk more.
And so, Maria, I think it depends on the schedule. I believe that so for example, the breakout session we just did was 4:30 to 3:30 to 4:20 p.m. And so typically I think you've built in a 10-minute break after each breakout session ish. So we'll probably just kind of play it by ear, and if we see people are staying later, we can leave the breakout room open a little bit, like maybe 5 extra minutes, and then we'll send a message out, hey, we're going to close the breakout room in 5 minutes or so you guys can wrap up and then maybe connect offline.
Okay, wonderful, great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Magdalena. Luis.
Hi, yes, thank you. I just had a quick question about when we decide to be recorded for the presentation, what would the view look like when it's being recorded? Would it be like this where the speakers are on the top of the screen, or could we have a different option whenever we're presenting?
Sure. So typically the way your computer looks, if you have it on speaker view and I'm the whole screen and there's some boxes at the top, that's how it will typically record. But if you go to gallery view, you'll see all the boxes. I'll go in, and then it also depends on if you are, assuming you all are logged in through your Zoom desktop client, then when you go online to your Zoom account, you can see your recording. I'll go back and tweak the recording options to record it. I'll try to record it in multiple ways, but you can also go back into your zoom.com, your settings under recording. I think it's like account setting. Actually, I'll show you right here. It's, let me pull this up and you can see it. So right now I'm in my Zoom settings and you can see actually let me pull this up so I can see what I'm saying. You can see this is back in zoom.com. I'm logged in. And it's down here in account settings, and then it'll take you to this page with all your options, waiting room and meeting passcode, all this stuff. If you click up here on recording, you can record. So if you see, I can record active speaker with shared screen. I can also record gallery view. I can record in all these different formats. And so you should be able to tweak that and record it however you'd like. And then when you're done, you'll have that recording in that way.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is that something that the facilitators need to do since they're the recording source?
So if you're recording to yes, I think the default is it just records your screen however your screen looks. If you go to gallery view, it'll record gallery view. Then if you switch to the speaker view, it'll switch to speaker view. But if you want them to go in, they can toggle those and record it a few different ways, and then they have it a few different ways. It may be a little more technical for what they need. I think if they just click record, they can choose to record it to their Zoom account, which is limited, or they can record it directly to their computer.
Right.
I typically record to my computer because once I've exceeded my Zoom account storage, which I'm way over right now, like way over, but it won't cut me off. If I record it on my computer, I know it's there.
And Carlos, real quick, can you go back to what you were just sharing with all the settings? You've already selected you've already shared the link, but can you show them real quick, like 2 seconds, where they can update their Zoom?
Sure. Yeah, I tell you what, okay, let's do it this way. Let me share. I'm going to share my Zoom screen, which I think I can do here. let's see. All right, let me pull this up. All right, you can see this, right? So if this is this should be your Zoom client that you have on your desktop or laptop. If you click right up here, where your name would be, you can scroll right down here to check for updates. Okay, if you click on that, it'll tell you, okay, well, I'm up to date. But if you're not, it'll say there's an update available. Do you want to download? And then when you're done with whatever meeting, if you're in a meeting, it'll download when you're done. So that's the very easy way. Again, your desktop client, you click on your little logo up here and go down to check for updates. And they release an update about every couple weeks. So odds are there's an update out there waiting for you.
Thank you.
What else, folks? We are recording this session too, so we'll send you the link, and then if you want anything you'd like to see again, you can pull it up. All right.
Okay, I have one question, another one. For those of presenters who did submit their PowerPoint slides, are those going to be made available to the TACHE participants in general, or those that attended our session? How is that going to work?
The purpose of submitting the slides was just to have that insurance. It's in case something happens and you need assistance, and we can share them for you, the facilitator can. So we don't have any plans of sharing them with the public or the participants. That is something that we really want to honor because it's your content.
Okay.
So it will not be used for anything else but that. But if anybody would like to share their PowerPoint, some participants do ask for that at the end. Maybe prepared to share a PDF of it if that's something you feel comfortable with, but that's not something that we're going to be doing.
Thank you.
Any other? I'm going through to make sure. I think we've covered just about everything. And so just to remind you all, if you'd please be online 15 minutes before your session starts with your name renamed with your asterisk, so we know to find you, so we know you're there. Because the worst thing that would happen is we open up your breakout room and the facilitators and the participants are there, or the staff is there, but the presenters aren't there, which has happened, which with this many people, it may, and technology and all the storms coming through Texas, you never quite know. So if you're not able to be on for some reason, if you'll let someone from TACHE know, and then we can either move your breakout room around or we can find a pinch hitter for you.
Absolutely. And this is probably the biggest virtual conference I've ever been a part of. I've done little ones and we learned so much from it. And so I suspect we're going to be learning a lot more about how this all works. And so, if any of this surprises you and if you're not prepared, we need to know that now so we can assist you. But know that I believe we're going to have a great conference in that participants, presenters, keynote speakers, facilitators, all of us involved in the planning committee are going to approach this conference with a lot of love and understanding and grace. So if something just goes completely south, it's a conference, right? There's so many other, important things that we don't have control over. So just know, we put a lot of effort in putting this conference together. I feel we're prepared. I feel that you're going to be prepared. But don't be so hard on yourself if things, don't go perfectly, right? It's okay.
This is Carlos' fault. Come at Carlos.
I also want to add that we've sent, all the facilitators have 3 phone numbers. So if something goes wrong, you've got access to 3 phone numbers and somebody will help you. So you're not going to be stranded for a long time. They've got our cell numbers.
Mm-hmm. ¿Qué más, mi gente? Make sure you have water nearby, your coffee, your snacks. I'm gonna have to watch my mute button so I'm not hollering at my kids. And if you feel like you got all your questions answered and you want to, you need to take off, feel free to just leave the session at any time. We're here to support you, and we're just going to hang out to see if anything else comes to mind.
And I'm sure you all know this. You also like great presenters. I'm really struck with how intelligent you all are. Great questions, a lot of insight, and you're really thinking forward and ahead of some of the challenges you might face. We always recommend that presenters give more energy than they think is necessary, like old-fashioned acting, like vaudeville routines. That energy does come across in the camera, and it's easy to let yourself get tired and kind of settle into that, and that comes through the camera very quickly. So even if you have to fake it till you make it, just give that extra boost of energy if you can.
Yeah, and Bill and I have been facilitating a lot of sessions, and we notice it's good if every once in a while, people are going to be staring at their computer for 2.5, 3 days. If you can say, okay, guys, one word check-in, write in the chat, one word how you're feeling, real quick. Come on, give it to me real quick in 5 seconds. If you do little things like that, or okay, quick body pull on a scale of 5, how you feeling? How's your energy level? Show me. Is it a 4? Is it a 5? Is it a 1? Just those little things. It's that call and response that helps keep people's attention. Otherwise, they zone out and they don't think anybody's paying attention.
Yeah. And then you can go to gallery view like, oh, we got some 5s, we got some 4s. You can ignore all the 1s and 0s.
So Carlo and Bill, if we need help, all we have to do is raise our hand, right? And then you'll come immediately.
So there's when you're in the
breakout room.
Go ahead, Bill.
Carlo. Oh, I was just going to say, if you're in a breakout room, there's an actual button to ask for help. And that will flag us in the main room that you're requesting help. And we'll come running.
And we may not be able to come immediately if we're putting people in breakout rooms. So, maybe after 2 or 3 minutes, we can jump in if we need some technical help. And I think there was somebody, Maria, was there someone on the call that wanted to do some next level Jedi mind trick Zoom stuff that we wanted to talk about?
Yeah, we identified 5 people this morning at our TACHE conference planning committee meeting that have capacity to assist with putting people in, doing technical issues. But I wanted to do that offline just because, it might be worth it to just connect with just those folks. But no, if you will click I need help, someone will show up. I've been getting a lot of direct messages on the chat, and also I'm trying to keep up with the main chat. So if you sent me something, a question, and I'm trying to multitask and I'm doing kind of a poor job at it, if I haven't answered your question, or if Bill or Carlo can answer your question, please, speak up. And I'm sorry if we missed your comment or your inquiry. I'm the Jedi mind trick person for session. Yes, indeed, Avon. Dr. Ray Barbosa, you have a question? Or are you just saying goodbye?
No. I got it. I don't know how to do I should have put the emoji. Quick question. When you send out those links for our sessions, again, could you do me a favor? It would be nice. I would believe everyone would care for this, but could you send your personal numbers? I know I have Elsa's, but I don't have somebody else.
Yeah.
Numbers, just in case I can get a Elsa or one of you guys. Someone might be busy, might be helping someone else, and might be troubleshooting for like 10 people. And so,
Yeah, absolutely.
Just want to double check.
Happy to do that. Yeah. Don't be nervous. Don't be afraid. We got this. Anything else, guys? So glad you're here.
Yeah, as for the virtual backgrounds, make sure you have a lot of light. But you have to take a table lamp or something like that and prop it up in front of your face and put it on a stack of books. That could be really good. And I noticed that some of the virtual backgrounds are interacting with picture frames and things like that, and even teeth and face. So just make sure you have plenty of light on your own face as you can, and that will help things considerably.
Magdalena, do you have a green screen?
You're very astute, Carlo.
Okay, I can see. So if you look, green screens are great. So if you'll just make sure you're centered, and Magdalena, I think there's a
Yeah.
setting that can maybe even, no, I think, hey, did you click on the I have a green screen setting in Zoom?
No.
Okay.
Do I need to do that?
Yeah, if you go, let's all watch this happen in like
Well, that's
live.
okay. I can get my spouse to help me with those little technical things. Yeah. So I see what you mean. There's corners that
Yep.
you can see.
So
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and that's a good example. So two things that we typically recommend is number one is to have your if you have your camera at least eye level or a little bit higher shooting down on you, visually it looks a little bit better. So you can take your laptop and put it on some books or a box or whatnot.
Oh, I see.
And also we'd have like I call it a two-finger rule. You want to have your head probably no lower than two fingers. I mean, we've all seen people on Zoom meetings that are like this, right? You see the top of the head. So if you can get your head nice and tall, nice and framed, that helps.
Okay.
And Magdalena, yeah, you'll want to click on that I have a green screen button. Make sure that that's on. And I
Okay.
think it may be on because it's
Well,
only
it should
outlining.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah, it should be on because I use it all the time.
You can be
perfect.
at least 4 feet away from that green screen. It's like a minimum distance, so you want to be about 4 feet away if you can.
Those are good tips. Thank you.
Very
You're
good.
welcome.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording right now.